How do you guys remember 2016 to 2018? I remember I had the hardest fidget spinner and everyone was flocking to me. For me, it was at a time where your girl was really going if someone was faster than you in your grade. Which yes, me and you have all experienced this back in middle school. But even though I was around 11 to 12 around the SoundCloud era, best believe I was still bumping this music on my little Sum Galaxy. But for me at least, I have always enjoyed rap music and music in general since I was 10 years old. And me personally, I went through a lot of different eras of listening to different type of music. And I would say my taste in music is still changing a lot now. But for this video, we're gonna compare the first time I really heard underground music during the SoundCloud era to the underground now. But we'll see if the newer generation of music can really stand up to the old SoundCloud era. And also we're gonna have factors like swag, influence, and the music in general. Was it good? First, we're gonna talk about the fashion between these two eras. Now back around this time, a huge thing was Bape hoodies and Supreme. And these were really big fashion statements, especially if you were an underground rapper during the SoundCloud era. And this type of music was also popular during the hypebeast era, when people would just spam designer logos on themselves and they thought it was hard. But this era did birth a lot of good trends like the clout goggles. Those were pretty fire at the time. And they're a really iconic piece of fashion, like damn near every rapper was wearing this at one point. Another huge trend for these rappers at the time was really coloring your hair to any color at all. Like X had the iconic half blonde, half black. And at the time we had Lil Uzi with straight purple dreads. And then we even had Lil Peep with pink hair at one point. Now I would say people dyeing their hair in the underground is still popular now, but not nearly as much back in the SoundCloud era. Like back then you would have thought it was a requirement to have before you even touch the mic. And I cannot forget the iconic face tats. Mostly all SoundCloud rappers at the time had face tats. Being a rapper then, you had to be dedicated to the play. Them after getting this, they were getting no sort of employment. But to be honest, I really have to go with the swag now than the SoundCloud era. Now before y'all get mad at me, I have my reasons. In terms of swag, I feel like people are definitely more creative now than they were back then. Back in the SoundCloud era, you see the same two clothing be put on, the same Bape, the same Supreme, the same Off-White. It was really just a hypebeast culture that really just got boring for me. But there is some similarities with the hypebeast culture back then than now. Like for example, in this underground scene right now, there's a lot of traction with Rick Owen and Balenciaga tracks, or damn near anything Balenci. But the reason why I think the swag now for some of these underground artists are better than the SoundCloud era, because a lot of these rappers now have stylists, which I would say their fits are way more planned out and way more put out than artists like Lil Pump who just do a music video in a Bape hoodie. Even though some of these rappers have a stylist, it's definitely more creative than what we were wearing back in the hypebeast era and what most of these rappers were wearing at that time as well. But when it comes to influence, I would definitely say that the SoundCloud era has it. It's easy to see that a lot of artists now have really took inspiration from the SoundCloud era. From people like X, Lil Uzi Vert, OG Cardi, and even Famous Dex. I feel like they really laid the groundwork for what the underground is today. I think it's pretty fair to say without the SoundCloud era, the underground would never be where it's at currently. Which the SoundCloud era is also a continuation of before, where we had Salsa, Future, Young Thug, which they were blowing up before this, but they still play a major role in influencing the rappers now. But in terms of what the new underground is influencing now, it's still pretty early because some of these people blew up like 2 years ago, a year ago. But a person like Che that's been blowing up in the underground for a while now, he definitely has his fair share of clones. And with more popular the underground has been getting in the past couple months, it's destined there's going to be way more clones of these artists and people biting their sound. But I think it's still pretty early to see if they will blow up how the SoundCloud era blew up. Which, if you guys don't know, a lot of people from the SoundCloud era is really like mainstream now. And there's also a lot of artists from the SoundCloud era that unfortunately fell off, like Ski Master Slump God, Lil Pump, and Famous Dex, which some unfortunately died as well. But I definitely think that it's destined that some of the popular underground rappers now will eventually fall off and some will eventually keep blowing up. And only time will tell with the current underground we have now. But when it comes to which era has the best music, it's a bit difficult for me. Which I can sit here and say, oh, the SoundCloud era was better because it's so nostalgic, and make everyone happy. But before I even get into why I think the older SoundCloud era is better than this underground, let's just talk about the current situation of the underground currently now. Which I think a major problem right now is just the lack of creativity within the underground. Like we literally have two artists named the same exact thing but in different spelling, and it's sad to say, but their music is both mid at best. Like honestly, what are we doing? And to be honest, anything that sounds fresh and new to hear in the underground has already been done. And sure, there's some standouts where I feel like they kind of made their own sound in a way, but I feel like there's been a trend within the past year of just unoriginality, especially with the more upcoming scene of the underground. And if we were to look at the SoundCloud era, people would occasionally bite some lyrics, but people were generally having fun with their music. And mostly all the big SoundCloud era rappers all had their own unique different sound. Even though some of the songs would be ass, people would still listen because it sounded unique, it sounded fun to listen to. Which I think a lot of people think that about Xavier So Bass as well. Which I feel like a lot of SoundCloud rappers during that time kind of relate to Xavier So Bass. It's like where a majority of people think your song is some garbage, but at the same time, you know, it's kind of catchy in a way. Which during the SoundCloud era, a lot of people say that about Lil Pump, Lil Yachty, and Ugly God, if you guys remember him. But I feel like the underground now is just really just lost its fun. And I don't want to sound like a boomer, but a lot of people in underground now just sound the same. Like we truly ain't getting anything like this ever again. Like he really said, blocking girls off the gram. I had to treat them like a spam. I can't relate to it because I be having full convos with ChatGPT, but the bar was still hard. And then during the same time, we had artists like X who had the screaming and like sad type music, which this was also hard as well.
Batteries, all you niggas is calories, get burned, this bigger, your bitch splurge, I'm big, it was just lying, you niggas should take turns, I pop that pussy like an Adderall.
It was just truly a time you had to be there for the moment, from the culture to even the music. But even though the SoundCloud era won most of the categories I named at the start of the video, you know, I don't believe fully that the underground now is fully screwed. There's still a lot of really good potential and underrated people, but I just feel like it's really filled with a lot of garbage. But if you reach this part of the video, you might as well like and subscribe. Also, we're so close to 2K, we need to hit that soon. But I just want to say I appreciate every single one of y'all that be watching my videos, and I am gone.
You're natural and making me look stupid for you. 'Cause even after all you put me through, I still adore you. Now you'll come back around and baby, I just can't ignore you.